Thing to change that. All right, let's add that. All right, there's my audio fixed. And we may have to start over.
No worries.
Somebody say something. All right, there we go. All right, well, thank you for pointing that out.
We just got audio. I can confirm.
Jim in the Great Barrier, thank you for pointing that out. OBS is having its way with me lately. I am your host. We'll start over. I'm your host, as always, Jeff Harvey. This is Star Trek Europa. Eva is mad and has decided that I don't need to have sound today, but there, we got it fixed. Let's start.
You turned her voice off. She's just getting back at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Legit.
That's all right. It's absolutely possible. Links in the things and all the places. It's Linktree, Studio Tempo, plus all the other things. I'll throw up a link in the chat now that I have it up and saw that we didn't have sound. So let's go ahead and go back to Brian. Brian, go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about what you had to plug.
My name is Brian. I'm playing several characters, including Jessica Page, the operations officer aboard the Europa. The only thing I have to plug is that on the 27th, I will be running a one-shot of Avatar Legends for Jack's charity stream, which I'm sure he'll go more into detail. 27th, Avatar Legends.
Awesome. Evelyn, let's try yours again.
All right. I'm Ev. You can find me on TikTok at Caffeinatrix. I am playing Dr. DeSavio Nayat, our CMO and XO. I'm also playing Lieutenant Fiona Mills, one of our security officers, and Ensign Rebecca O'Connor. I am no longer on St. Pete by Night every other weekend because my Gangrel met a very untimely end, but you can go back and watch that streamed session. It's dated July 8th. And still keep going, checking them out. They're telling some really amazing story over there. I'll be back eventually with a different character, just not on stream right away.
You're still doing admin over there, right? You're still doing okay. So you're still over there doing. I am no longer a part of St. Pete by Night at all, but I still recommend everyone enjoy it. I just don't have time. I didn't have time for it, but I think everyone should have a good time and go over there and check it out. And my friend Kent runs that, and good people. So, Jack, you're up.
Yes, hello. I'm Jack. I play Captain Arani Ambrose along with all kinds of awesome other characters that we might see later on today. But this is not all I do, as Brian has already mentioned. I am in the midst of running a month-long, July month-long charity drive for reproductive rights and abortion access. It's just something I believe very strongly in. It's a very important issue. And I think we all need to come together and raise as much awareness and, most importantly, as much money as we can for the organizations and the people who desperately need it right now. So you can find more information on that over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/The People's Ascension, and over on our Twitter, where you can find me at PPLS Ascension on Twitter, because the whole thing didn't fit. We have, let's see, I do actually have my little poster here. If you can look down in my box over here, we're already on Tuesday. It's already Tuesday and we're playing Star Trek. Tomorrow, we have, that's the 13th of July. At 6 p.m. EST, we are doing Alchemical Romance. It's basically fantasy breakfast club. It's going to be a good time. And then on Thursday, we have a game of Monster Hearts 2 run by Zoe Trooper, who was just on season 3 of RPGs Uncovered, which is my main endeavor, but that is on hold for the moment for this charity drive. Usually what I do, and I have season 4, we're on season 4 already, season 4 coming up in around mid-August of RPGs Uncovered. That is a series dedicated to showing just how quick and easy it can be to learn a new TTRPG. So come hang out on my channel, raise some money for the National Abortion Federation and the Center for Reproductive Rights, and have fun with some cool games. And your donations can affect the games with things like buying rerolls and giving cool, powerful items and making it more difficult. You can learn about that elsewhere, because right now we're here to play some Star Trek Adventures.
Right. And speaking of Star Trek Adventures, I, as I said before, am your game master for today. My name is Jeff Harvey, and I have been running Star Trek for some time. I fully support Jack in this fundraiser that you guys are doing. And I'm so glad to be, I believe we're a part of it. Yes. Actually, good reminding me. If you are watching on my channel, twitch.tv/The People's Ascension, or if you're not, go over there, because you can scroll down, just right down below, there's a banner that you can click on, or a link right below it to hit the donations. I actually have a bar right here on my little box right here. Normally when we hit one of those milestones, cool things happen. I don't know if Jeff is willing to do that for this game. Throw it out there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So normally I let people buy rerolls for $5. $25 gives something cool to a player, and $50 makes it way more difficult. Yeah, by helping the GM do crazy things. And when we hit $250, right now we are at 100. What does that say? 1,565 at the moment. When we hit 250, there's a giveaway of all kinds of cool prizes.
Nice. I do want to give a warning for this episode. There may be some discussion of sensitive topics for those who are sensitive to bodily autonomy type or medical procedures. This episode may or may not have some of that stuff in this episode or next episode. So just a heads up for that. Star Trek has never been one of those things that has ever shied away from this sort of topic. And I don't want it to shy away from it either. I had a great idea, and I'm hoping it comes out well. So with that and the lack of sleep that I've had in mind, let's go ahead and do a recap. Anybody want to go with what we did last session? Kind of a lot happened, I think, last session.
Yeah, so over the last couple of weeks, we have been investigating the loss of the Bellerophon in the space anomaly. We found it to be a wormhole. The away team sent into the space anomaly to investigate was whisked away to the Delta Quadrant, where their shuttle crashed. They found the planet to be occupied by Borg, and were having a hard time getting off the planet. There was a good deal of interpersonal drama abounded.
Someone got shot by another PC.
Yes.
That was the time before last.
Yeah, but he said in the last couple of weeks, he said.
Gotcha.
Feelings were hurt.
Somebody's almost got, completely abandoned by another PCs.
Yes.
Feelings were hurt, people were shot, you know how it goes.
Right.
And then, but they managed to get whisked back to the Alpha Quadrant? No, Beta. We're in the Beta Quadrant. Got whisked back to the Beta Quadrant through marvel of engineering, where they managed to get rescued at the last minute. And that's where we left off, was just after their safe arrival back on the Europa.
Anybody else want to add anything to that? There was a
Yeah, we did a lot of psychic-y stuff
Yep.
running around in Kendall's head. With some very interesting scenes starting out on Beta Z, when Kendall was all the wrong age.
Yep.
As Asabi was returning home from the Dominion War, and then moving into a Jem'Hadar POW camp full of cadets who seemed very unperturbed by the Jem'Hadar.
Yes. Although
And
Ambrose
then-
did seem perturbed by it, and it seemed that it seemed very familiar to him, as we recall.
Yes.
Definitely some mental bleed going on there.
Yeah.
And finally winding up in some strange dungeony location with a monster that Ambrose fought, and which then turned into Kendall and said she was very concerned because she has to stop it, and it killed them all. Creature in the cage we couldn't see seemed to grow bolder with the guardian gone, and then through some very clever medicine, Delphine woke us all up.
Yep.
We, on the bridge, Mills was prepared to permanently close the wormhole, as we'd gotten word that there was confirmation there were Borg there, and gave Tong and Yezebeth one chance to use the daisy chain and transport them out.
Do some very fancy transporting.
Mm-hmm.
First time anyone's been transported, as far as we know, across quadrants through a wormhole.
And
That
seems to have gone
that we know of
successfully. Everybody appears to have come back with all the right parts in the right places on the right people.
So far as we've checked.
So far.
And in the process, I believe that there was an explosion and Tong was injured and taken to
Yes.
sickbay, which I believe is actually where we ended up leaving. Pretty close to where we
Oh,
left off.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody.
We're definitely
right
not
now.
starting with Tongo.
Yeah,
No.
we're not starting with Tongo. All right. So anyone else have anything they want to add to that? If not, we can go ahead and jump right in. All right. Who's got their opening scene? What do you guys want to do? We're not doing Tongo, obviously, because Tong is in sick bay. Yeah. Anybody got anything?
So one of the things that happened towards the end was Captain Ambrose left sickbay before being fully checked out.
Yeah.
So I think a good scene to start would be Delphine insisting on giving him an examination to make sure whatever mind entrapment had gone on has no ill effects on him. Sound good, Jack?
Sounds good to me. How about you, Jack? You're good for that?
Does Delphine go through Dasavi, or is the nurse trying to insist that the captain come down to sickbay? Do we want to play that out, or do we just want to start at the examination table and
I
just
was
hand read it?
picturing her going to you personally.
Okay.
She
All right.
comes to the bridge.
Okay. Let's start there.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. And then everybody can be involved.
Yeah, so when we last left the bridge, Mills had given the order as Ambrose was coming in. Got her. She doesn't know if we got our people back or not. But no, we finally did. We did the status report at the end, but not
Yeah.
knowing she'd ordered the wormhole be destroyed. Got the status report. Saw the captain and got up out of the captain's chair and saluted, or whatever.
Whatever Starfleet does.
Whatever Starfleet does. Captain of the bridge. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, I think we already played out a small scene there, and I don't remember exactly what it was, so I can't read
No,
it.
we'd already played it out.
Yeah.
Just refresher for where we were.
Yeah.
So
So
by this point, Ambrose is probably like sitting in the captain's chair, and
yeah.
Delphine comes in to do her thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so Delphine is carrying a medical case, and she's going to walk in with the door giving a swish, and she's going to say, "Captain, if I may have a moment, you never did let me finish my examination."
So we're establishing this is like right after the course of events.
Within a few minutes of, you know,
Okay.
maybe 10 minutes at the most.
I would say after the red alert has ended and
Yeah.
we've got work or whatever.
Statuses are back in, like the ship is now
Okay.
back to the school. We are aware that everyone is back. Tong has been injured. We're aware of all of that happened. The wormhole is clearly closed. The ship is in no immediate danger that you're aware of anyways.
Okay. But we have not yet received our new orders.
No.
Okay.
We'll do this scene first, then we'll do the break, and then we'll jump forward a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay. Lieutenant, I'm sure this examination, this follow-up can wait until we are out of crisis mode.
It might be able to wait until we're out of crisis mode, or it could cause crisis mode to last a good deal longer. Surely you can spare 5 minutes.
Will this take 5 minutes?
4 if you behave yourself.
Okay, Lieutenant. My ready room.
She nods and follows. She quickly pulls out her medical tricorder and begins doing a scan. And she says, as you'll see in my full report, I wrote up what the medical side of what happened. I must ask, do you have any idea what that 4th brainwave may have been? She's going as she's talking.
I think there's a level of informality happening at the moment. And not just at this moment, but in the past as well, that needs to be addressed. I was hoping our new first officer and your immediate superior could handle that. However, now you come onto my bridge and ask that I behave appropriately.
Yeah, I simply meant that if you cooperate, the examination will go faster.
I appreciate that you have the crew's health as your top priority, including mine. However, I should not need to remind you, Lieutenant, that you are a nurse. Whatever new responsibilities that you have taken on because of Desavi's newer promotion, we will have to discuss as a group, as part of a promotion hearing, perhaps, more solidifying of these duties. But until that is the case, you are not in charge of overriding my calls for medical reasons or interrupting my bridge because of such.
Well, Captain, may I remind you that you did discharge yourself from sickbay after a medical emergency without so much as consulting whether such thing would be safe. I think we can each forgive lapses in the midst of lapses in formality in the midst of a crisis situation.
You've seen my record. You've seen how many times I've gotten up from far worse situations and far more dire situations.
So
if I can stand, if I can command, I will be at my post.
I see. So you believe that there's no ill effects of a four-way mind meld with with at least one completely unknown party, and you believe that you would simply know if something was incorrect, if something was wrong with you.
I trust my senior staff.
And I'm asking you to submit yourself for a routine examination post a medical emergency.
And I'm asking you to follow the proper procedure next time.
I will submit my request in triplicate next time then. Now, I do not, luckily for you, I do not see anything that causes immediate concern. I will ask the chief medical officer to carry out your examinations in the future if you'd find that more suitable.
Proper place and proper time, Lieutenant. That's all I ask. I appreciate your diligence.
I would hope that you do. And she'll close her case, and if that's all,
Dismissed.
and she'll head off.
All right.
Ambrose will walk behind his desk, put his hands on the ovular window looking out. Ship full of children.
And let's do some opening credits. All right. Things have been quiet aboard Europa for the last couple of days. Everything appears to be back in running order. Ship's back up and running. Crew members are back and out of sick bay and whatnot. Tong's got a few residual burns and whatnot, but you know, he lived. There's been a lot of tension aboard the ship for the last few days. A lot of, I think, built up pressure between the situation that's been going on with the command structure and the situation that's been going on with being in the Expanse for as long as the ship has really been out here, and all the other stressors that are going on. When the ship gets new orders, which I believe Ambrose has a thing for. Got a new captain's log.
Yes. Yeah, so this is a few days later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll just say I'm actually in my captain's quarters instead of the ready room or anything, just to set the ambiance. And I'll pull out
got your own fireplace aboard a starship, which makes a whole lot of sense to me.
Of course, yeah.
I do love that set, but oh my god, it doesn't make no sense.
Nothing in the Star Trek has ever made sense.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I love it. Anyways, go ahead.
So I'll look out one of those big windows in the officer's suite. Out, I assume we're making our way away from.
Yeah. You're setting your rendezvous.
The maelstrom.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I see. We've actually rendezvoused. Okay.
So you're either rendezvoused or rendezvousing with shortly. So
right. Okay. I'll pull out my data pad and begin recording. Captain's log. Stardate 53529.3. Europa will be heading out of the valley. We've made some incredible new discoveries, and I'm sure we'll be back for even more. However, Admiral Aralani has reassigned us to Starbase 173 Detachment and would like us to address some of the more routine concerns of Starfleet in that region. I don't feel that's the best use of this ship, but I'm eager to be in the area, and the crew needs some downtime. We'll be rendezvousing with the USS Mackinac shortly. under Captain Sobel's command. A Vulcan with a solid record during the war. A man whose logic is very strict, even by Vulcan standards. They'll be taking over the primary research duties in the Valley over the next few months, along with a handful of science ships, both civilian and Starfleet. I'm told we'll be taking on some guests from the Hidal, a species that's been very friendly to the Federation since first contact. Captain Saval and the Admiralty have managed to sign a technological exchange with them. As such, they'll be performing several upgrades to the Europa that I'm told will increase our efficiency. Told it's merely programming and reworking of things that are already in place. But I plan on having my people oversee the detail.
All right. Before we have the meetings, did anyone want to throw anything in there? Do you want to throw anything in there, Ambrose, or do you want to get right to the meeting?
It's not anything I can play out, but Ambrose would like to assign Secret Agent Tong to oversee these all of these refits.
Okay. No problem. That's totally doable. Excuse me. I imagine Koval or Coaster would also be involved in some of that, but Tong obviously is the one who's going to work with
Coaster's
most of
playing the role he's supposed to play, whereas Tong is playing Secret Agent Tong.
I gotcha. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and go to. We'll have the meeting happen in the not the forward lounge. Where's that place? The captain's. Not the captain. God, the words I'm trying to use in the
Conference room?
conference room. That is the word. Conference room. Those things.
Together we have a brain cell.
Yes, I managed to
Words
figure
are
out
hard.
one. So in the conference room, Captain Saval, who I do have a picture of here, Captain
Is that
Saval.
S-U-V-A-L? Or
S-O-V-A-L, Saval.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, their Vulcans don't get real creative with their spelling. There you go. In case you guys didn't have a picture, that should give you a picture of him. Anybody who wants to be there is, or the captain, specifically doesn't want to be there. Anyone who wants to be there can be, unless the captain specifically has people they don't want to have there. But it will be Saval, and the Hidal will not be there just yet. But
Sorry, is this this is just a conference room meeting? It's not like dress uniform.
no, just a conference meeting. Yeah, no, this is because this is not meeting the Hidal just yet. This is any chance for Saval to answer questions that you guys have without them being present.
Okay.
So the Mackinac comes alongside, and Captain Saval beams over. The Mackinac, I believe we determined, I have that written somewhere, but it is a Federation ship, obviously. I used to know what it was off the top of my head, but I don't anymore. 7th Fleet Command Structure. Go to that. I didn't write it down. I think it's a nebula. But anyway, it comes alongside, and Captain Saval radios over and beams aboard. He's a stoic, Vulcan-y type person, obviously. Commander Ambrose, greetings. He gives you the Vulcan. Peace and long life to you.
Captain Saval, live long and prosper.
This is the Europa. I have been studying your ship's design. I find it fascinating. How have you found working with the artificial intelligence?
It's been an interesting journey. It's almost like having another member of the crew constantly around.
Fascinating. Shall we begin?
Of course.
Some months ago, the Mackinac encountered a group of people known as the Hidal. The Hidal are a race of technologically advanced people. They are spacefaring, but they do not use warp technology as we see it. It is some form of quantum warping technology that is beyond Starfleet. As part of our ongoing collaboration with these people and our ongoing efforts to befriend them, Starfleet has come to an agreement for technological exchange in exchange for some technologies that we have in the replication and matter transferal departments. They are providing us with energy efficiency information, technology that will help make our engines and our systems far more efficient than they are. For the Mackinac, which I must admit has older technology than Europa, our efficiency has increased almost 73%, which is remarkable. There have been no new installations. It is all with existing technology that is replicatable on ship, as well as programming changes. Dr. Joanne has been a remarkable mind to deal with. You'll be working alongside, Dr. Joanne will be working alongside two assistants, and one of the assistants has their child with them, who is undergoing some sort of training in the mechanical side of things, a young man. Do you have any questions, Captain?
How has your crew handled these upgrades? Did they come with any new user interface learning curves?
There is some delay in the customization, acclimatization, that's what I'm looking for, of the new Alcar's layout. However, they've all taken to it within a few days. I run a tight ship, and we've had to do several additional training exercises, but most everyone has had no problems.
I'll have my XO draft up a roster for such exercises. What sort of downtime are we looking at here? How long will we be in the shop?
For the most part, the Mackinac never lost any significant time. The engine upgrades were the most difficult. They took approximately 2 days. All other systems were able to be bypassed, for lack of a better term, during this repair time. Sensors did see a decrease in efficiency at first, whilst the installations were being done, but we did not lose significant fidelity.
All right.
I must state, Commander or Captain, that these Hidal are they are an advanced civilization. Their social structures are somewhat unusual for humans. While they do not have a class system, they have something similar. While it is not as rigid or structured, there is certainly a hierarchy of intelligence. They favor the intellect over almost all else. It's actually quite refreshing.
That's good to know. I'll have them meet some of the engineering and scientific heads while they're here.
Excellent. If there's nothing else, Captain.
I understand you'll be taking over our previous position in the Expanse out towards the Maelstrom.
Indeed.
The Cornucopia Valley, the Valley of Plenty.
Valley of Plenty, yes. Indeed. I am looking forward to some of the to extending some of the research that you have already done. These people, they seem to be interesting, and I have never seen any of the RN in person. I am intrigued. I am somewhat concerned, however, that you have encountered more hostile life forms.
Yes. That region is, like everywhere else, full of wonders. But it's uncharted. That's the reason we're out here. But there are anomalies. That whole region, we believe, was created from some massive ancient malfunctioning power source. And more so than that, there's the Bishari. We have little to no information about them, but from all accounts, the local inhabitants of the region, they're a force to be reckoned with. I'd advise keeping a close watch, especially on the civilian ships. Make sure they don't stray too far from the herd.
I will take that under advisement, Captain. I look forward to reading your reports on the region.
Likewise.
If you'll excuse me, I will provide the Hidal their direction over here.
Of course. Thank you for the briefing.
Thank you, Captain. He kind of nods and does the live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.
All right. Anything anybody wants to do while we're setting up the next scene? They have a side scene they want to do while setting up the next scene. Okay. The next scene would be probably in the shuttle bay, which is where they're going to come aboard as they're coming aboard by shuttle.
Remind me who these people are again.
The Hidal?
Yeah, we've seen them before. We
No.
went to their plant. No,
No, you have not
I'm
experienced the
thinking
Hidal yet.
something
Yeah, nope, they are a new race.
Okay.
And I spent on a day trying to find pictures for these because I didn't realize, I forgot that when I found the pictures, the race that I found pictures of have no male characters.
Oh.
I had to find one male character.
What was that other race that we saw that reached out to us for first contact, and they were slightly superior? They had a gun that could shoot outside of their system. That's all I remember.
I'd have to
They
look
don't
it
have
up.
anything to do with this.
This is not them though.
Okay.
Yeah, not them. This is a complete
On a technological level, or from the reports, are they even beyond that? How advanced to Starfleet standards are we talking here?
So they're probably half a century ahead, maybe a little bit more than that. But the big difference is they use a different kind of technology than Starfleet when it comes to warp technology. They don't use antimatter conversion. They use a quantum drive of some sort. It's similar to a quantum slipstream drive, which Starfleet's been working on for a long time, which is one of the reasons that Starfleet is so interested in dealing with these guys, because their ships are significantly faster than Starfleet's ships with longer ranges. Weapons wise and stuff like that, they're not that much far more advanced, and they lack some of the more advanced matter replication systems that Starfleet has. Starfleet is very good at matter replication, whereas this group they have matter replication, but they are not as advanced in replication as Starfleet is.
Okay.
So that is the exchange, is in exchange for efficiency in power systems and engine usage of the current systems that you guys have. Starfleet is providing them with more advanced understandings of matter replication. So
Cool.
this would be a dress uniform situation. Oops, she's not there.
I need to step out for a second because Doggo is very insistent.
Okay, that gives me a chance to set up my photos.
back.
Coffee when you're doing that.
So these pictures, these are, anyone who's played Mass Effect would know these.
Mm-hmm.
And I had forgotten, because it had been so long since I played Mass Effect, that they do not have any males in their species. And so I spent a long time looking for a male of the species and could not find one until I eventually found one that someone had custom made. This is our young man. I felt a little bit bad about actually using the species like that, but I really like them. I like the look because they're human enough. And
that's not custom. That's from Andromeda.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no, there was a custom one that I deleted.
Okay.
It was Anziza Sari had been, which I thought was kind of funny. But that is a young man. in this image. Andromeda is the one I actually haven't played yet.
You're not missing anything.
That's what I've heard. I do have it, and I actually recently picked up the Mass Effect. And by recently, I mean like the day it came out. I picked up the Mass Effect remasters on PC, and I've had zero time. I haven't even installed it yet. That's how much time I've had. So I'm looking forward to replay that. That's the one game that I wish they'd make an RPG of. I would play the crap out of that.
There is a D&D 5e. Is it 5e or
there's
is
a
it
3.5?
There's a reskin, but
Yeah.
it's not that great.
There's always been a time. I remember back in the day, I made one using the D20 Future mechanics.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them for D20 Modern and 3.5, but I've done some work to make it compatible with the D6 West End game system, but it's just never quite right. I need more like sit down and do the work kind of time, and who's got that?
I don't think it'd make a good role-playing game.
No, I think it would. I think the universe is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the universe is fine, but it lacks a certain dimensionality that I think would be necessary as a role-playing game.
Yeah, see, I don't agree. I think it would be brilliant. I mean, the storylines that are in the game are clearly very one directional. But they're BioWare, so they're amazing stories. I think they're some of the best video game RPGs ever made.
Yes, the best video game RPGs, but it's not the same.
I don't know. I think it would convert well. It's basically just like a different version of Star Wars because their powers are basically force powers. They're different races. I don't know. It could be interesting. I think it'd be fun.
Star Wars makes a good role-playing game setting either. So.
Oh no, I do. I love Star Wars. That's the first game I ever ran with Star Wars.
I have run a ton of Star Wars. I literally the first game I ever ran was Star Wars back in the fucking day. But I don't know. Yeah, I just don't think it works.
We disagree on that one. I think it's one of the best role-playing games. But I've been playing it since 1992. I will say I don't like the newer versions as much. But I really like the older stuff, and the storytelling concepts and aspects I think are near endless. As long as you avoid the Skywalkers, which is something that I wish that Disney would do. All right, let's go ahead and take a couple minutes because my dog is now wanting to. I'll go ahead and throw it on the intermission. We'll be right back. We won't go the whole 10 though.
Okay.